Welcome to Between the Brows podcast, presented by Buckventures Outdoors, where the guys talk about hunting, God, and everything in between. We've got a great show for you today, so sit back, enjoy, and let's get right into it.
Well, guys, welcome back to another episode of Between the Brows. It's been a while. Again, we're supposed to have been doing this for a little while.
He's slacking, guys. It's all Cole. We know he's the chief producer, editor,
I walk into his office every day. I'm like, hey, we need to do a podcast. And he's like, no, I don't want to.
Most time he ain't even here.
That's kind of been a standard part of the intro is welcome to Between the Brows.
It's been a while.
Yeah. But hopefully we're here to stay.
Yeah. Well, today it's going to be a good one. We got Mr. Barry Woods from the NWTF here, and he is the National Director of Event Fundraising. Is that correct?
You got it.
I got to make sure you sound important. National Director of Event Fundraising. And we'll kind of dive into it, but we partnered with NWTF. When was that?
We've been trying to partner for Barry. I think we kind of been partners for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
But we made it official, this last year?
Yeah, we had that little thing pop up there that derailed it. We were about to get it done then.
Yeah, no, it was right there for sure. And, yeah, COVID put it in a tailspin. But, hey, we're here now.
That's right.
We're going strong.
That's right.
And NWTF, Barry, it's headed stronger than ever, it looks like, right?
And that's what I was going to say. Timing was good for this partnership because due to COVID and some things that we've changed, we're a lot stronger organizationally now than we've ever been. Mm-hmm. So,
well, I think that is just overall, whether an individual, companies, whatever is, we have to adapt and we have to change and with the times and this and that. Obviously, we don't counsel culture and all that. We know what the good book says, and we know that doesn't change, but we do have to, it's all about just work, and I think that's who we are. I think that's who NWTF is, and you guys got some simple things that you want to do, and one of them is to make sure that the wildlife is thriving, the turkey, and y'all don't spare any expense doing that.
No, we've got a ton of money going into research from across the entire country, from the west to the east. So. We just started an initiative called Habitat for the Hatch in the southeast, where we're starting to see turkey declines in some of the states like Alabama, which at one point was an all-time high. That's where some of the first turkey releases happened. So we've got a lot of money going into a lot of matching dollars. I don't think a lot of people know that's how we operate. We raise money obviously through banquets and partnerships, but then we're able to help the agencies leverage that money through grant programs through their states. And a lot of that's Pittman-Robertson dollars.
Sure.
I always ask people, when I'm in a banquet or in a setting and we're talking conservation, I ask them if they know what Pittman-Robertson is. And I get a lot of blank stares. And so when I explain it, which everybody should know, and that is an 11% excise tax that we as outdoorsmen put on ourselves to protect and conserve the wildlife that we hunt and watch. We pay 11% on every gun and ammo that we purchase, and that money goes back on the ground for conservation.
Right.
80%, roughly 80% of all the conservation work done in a state is done with Pittman-Robertson dollars. A state has to give $1 to get $3. Where do you think that dollar comes from?
Exactly.
License sales. So that's why it's important to keep creating hunters, right? So those states can draw those PR funds.
Well, and what a just, as us hunters, we're putting it on ourselves. That is cool. I mean, that, we care that much about it. And, I've been around a long time now in the hunting industry, and I've been attacked on many fronts from people that mainly, it's kind of cool to see, that didn't understand. And then after they understand truly who we are as hunters and our hearts towards animals, they change their mind in some degree. And that is what I just think as hunters, guys, is if you're not supporting the NWTF and things like this, you need to, and sometimes we forget, right? We think we're supporting, but then all of a sudden you look and you're like, man, I ain't bought an NWTF, license and or whatever, or membership in 3 years. And that's what I would tell you, to make sure and be intentional, because exactly those dollars are being matched and this and that to help us, to help our kids, to help our grandkids, and on down the line.
As far as conservation organizations go, we're the only one that has a biologist that's staff in every state. It's not an NRCS, NRDS half funded. It's NWTF funded biologists in every state in the U.S. So those folks are working to put the dollars raised back on the ground and find those grants and those PR funds to make it. In some cases, some states are 12-to-1 match. And that's pretty good. I wish my 401k had that kind of
joke.
Did we say exactly what NWTF was? Did we explain
what they
Can you explain kind of?
Yeah, if you don't know,
because some people won't know.
Yeah, Barry, why don't you just break that down?
So NWTF stands for National Wild Turkey Federation. We're based out of Edgefield, South Carolina. We originally started in 1973 with a guy named Tom Rogers, who started it in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and then moved it to Edgefield, South Carolina. And we just celebrated 50 years here last year, so we're pretty proud of that and look forward to the next 50 years.
Yeah, and guys, I can't tell you enough to get involved with them. I mean, what is a membership?
$35 for a year membership.
$35, and you have no idea what that does. And actually, you get things out of that as well. But I'm just telling you, from the bottom of my heart, make sure and get involved with the NWTF. They are doing so much, from helping the wildlife, but then bringing hunters into it. Education, and like you said, they're sparing no expense. They're going all out in every faucet that they can to help hunters, to help the wildlife, everything. Do a little bit of research on it, and I promise you'll understand that you need to be involved.
Well, I think one thing too, people might think NWTF is really just helping turkeys, and I think it's important to note that it's not just helping. The habitat improvement, the work that they're doing is, yes, it's for the turkeys in a sense, but it's helping all other wildlife, deer, whatever it may be. It's making a difference for more than just turkey itself, even though that's the main focus.
Well, and it's been real refreshing to me to see and kind of know that people actually care about this, right? And Barry, you said that the NWTF has just grown so much in the last few years, and I think a really good evidence of that is in Nashville every February at the NWTF convention. I've been going for the last few years, and it seems like every single year I've gone, it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and that crowd is getting more passionate about conservation. And I think, especially this past year, I think it was a record.
It was,
but
yes.
it was just unbelievable and very refreshing to not only be on the floor, but also in some of the banquets that's going on and just some of the initiatives that's going on that week as well, to actually move the needle.
Mm-hmm. Well, and to Cole's point, we are the National Wild Turkey Federation, and a lot of folks tend to get species specific when you talk about conservation organizations. But the one thing I'll tell you about the NWTF that I'm proud of is that we are out there planting roost trees to an extent. Obviously they're not being roosted in for a long time, but the work that we do on the ground really does benefit other wildlife probably sooner than it does the initial turkey right out of the gate. So we have in the West a program called Waterways for Wildlife. Well, that's definitely out there for the mule deer, the elk, the sage grouse, those western species that are needing help as well. Fire suppression. People don't realize it, but we do a lot of work for fire suppression. We've had these catastrophic fires across the West. And the thing about a catastrophic fire, not only does it affect human life as well, but it gets so hot that it literally takes the ground and sterilizes it to where stuff won't even grow there for years because it's gotten so hot and sterilized the ground. So we're working with a lot of agencies out there, the U.S. Forest Service, to try to improve forest health out there for that very reason. So,
well, that's just listening and trying to always be someone that learns. That brings up a great point for me, because I think at times us hunters think, oh, they got a fire, that's good for the wildlife, but exactly what you said, a hot fire like that sterilizes the ground, therefore dollars got to be put back to get that right.
That's right. It'll stay bare for years.
Yeah. That's just thinking through that is definitely, fire doesn't always do good.
No, and I think there's confusion out there because you do a lot of prescribed burns in conservation work, but that's a slow burning, low temp fire that actually does good.
Right.
You look at the Flint Hills of Kansas. They burn them every year, and in about 7 days with a little rain, it's just gorgeous green. Yeah. But again, it's that slow burning, low temp.
Well, I think of a cedar tree that I'll cut down a bunch of cedars. I'll have this big pile, and I'll do this burn. and then grass never grows back. And I remember when I first started that berry, I'd think, man, I burnt there. I bet it's going to be real green there. And it never burnt. And, I had to bring in topsoil to make that grow again because it was the hot fire right there, and it just won't, it done exactly what you said.
And those cedars get extremely hot. We've seen it in western Oklahoma down around the Beaver Wildlife Management area. Yeah. It's still got bare spots there even. So,
well, and I'll tell you the other thing, guys, the NWTF and the way that they do things, being a mindset of, I love to hunt, but I've really got into the deal of managing our ground. I mean, we all, I think that's going on a lot too. And if you want to model, they've helped me a lot to align even what I'm doing on a personal level to say, man, first of all, they can help. They're right there to answer their phone, emails, whatever, to help you. Secondly, just to watch their model and their effort and their heart into this, it's helped me along the way to be a better manager, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, talk about NWTF. Kind of, we want to talk about our partnership, I guess, Joe, because we have announced it a while ago, but we've never done like an official, I guess, podcast announcement. So, do y'all want to just touch on that a little bit of what we're doing with them and trying to make a difference?
Well, I'll speak first. I mean, the first thing that I want you to know is Barry and I and Daniel. I don't know, Barry, has it been 10 years? I mean,
it's probably been 10 years, yeah.
I think so. I think we started these talks at 10 years, and just so y'all know how it kind of went, it was at the SHOT Show a lot of times, on the phone too. But, I mean, guys, you know what it means to me with faith. Buckventures has started on faith way back then. And so as I started talking to NWTF, Barry, and going down that common ground of men and women that love the Lord and are that is their high platform, and then going into making a difference. That is what I always say, right? That's our motto even this year. Whatever you do, whether you eat or drink, you do all for the glory of God. So that type deal, making a difference. And that's where it started basically with Daniel and I and Barry is, okay, how do we come together and make a difference? And I think, I'll let Barry speak on this, but from my standpoint, I want to put my mom and dad, and especially my dad always told me, you put good people around you, that's how you make it. And that is what I thought through as talking with Barry and NWTF, and that's where it came full circle to us, is to say, okay, we don't know exactly how everything's going to go, but we want to be with the best people in the industry, and that is what we started out 10 years ago, and we finally got it done a year ago.
Yeah, and you're right. So I've always believed God's timing is the right timing, so I got to believe that's why this thing came together when it did. And as far as putting good people around you, I want to make sure that everybody listening understands that the National Wild Turkey Federation is only successful at what we do because of our volunteers. So we have good people supporting this organization, making sure that they are making a difference, whether it's through the hunting heritage side or the conservation side. They're here because they're good people and they want to make a difference. Everybody says, man, are you happy you celebrated 50 years last year? I said, oh, absolutely we are. But it's not me. It's not staff that got us to the 50 years. It's the volunteers and the people around you. So putting good people around you makes a difference. And I want to commend you guys for what you do for the industry. We have to continue to give and not just take. And I don't care what part of the industry you're in. I hear all the time, man, I've got my own 2,000 acres. I don't need to be a member of the NWTF or any other organization for that matter. I've got my own little honey hole. Well, the thing is, we all play a role in that honey hole in some aspect, right? Whether it's a license sale that you purchased or it's, some sort of conservation effort done around that property, creating hunters so that future generations have access to that property, even if it's privately owned. So I commend you all for what you do.
Well, Chancey, with him saying that too, maybe you and Cole is y'all are Woodsman. I mean, y'all started it out. Y'all were some of the first ones. I mean, to Barry's point of it takes more, and the same thing with us. I mean, I started this thing in a garage in 2003, but this isn't about me at all. Buckventures, I'm talking about. It started, and there's so many people now that are Buckventures. And just speak of that, of those our guys, I think they are so excited about NWTF for exactly that reason is they want to make a difference. That's who's on our deal. It's not just these guys coming out trying to, I want to get my own video so I can look good. I think these guys, or I know our Woodsmen, they care about making a difference.
Absolutely. And especially coming off of the pro staff, we've heard a lot of really great feedback. These guys want to make a difference. They want to, move the needle. And it's really great that they feel like they're a part of something, right? And I think everybody loves the initiatives of the NWTF, and really our morals, I feel like, really line up really well. So, I think that's what sets this NWTF apart is, they're able to go start chapters. They're able to, raise those fundraiser dollars, and that effort is directly going to benefit not only the wildlife now, but for future generations. And I've heard a lot of our pro staff be like, man, this partnership is just awesome. And especially coming off that pro staff meeting there in April, it's just been unbelievable. And I believe that coming off of that, we've had several chapters that are potentially going to get going. I know of one that's definitely cultivated out of that. One is really close, and then I think there's several that are in the talks. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. And the encouraging part is across the whole U.S. So we're not just talking about here in Oklahoma. We're talking about, I think, Washington, Alabama, Georgia, Michigan.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
One thing I'll say too, growing up, I think when you kind of first get into hunting, as a kid, you're not really thinking about the conservation. You kind of want to go out and hunt and shoot stuff, in a sense. And as you get older, you realize, hey, if we don't take care of this might not be here for my kids or my kids' kids or whatever. So I just think it's very important for $35 a year to help a organization help hunting keep going in a sense. I think that's a fair ask. I mean, $35, I think it's NWTF.org, right, where people can go and sign up. And it's really a way to ensure that our kids and our kids' kids and their kids can continue enjoying the sport of hunting that we all love. And, as you get older, you start to actually think about that a little more than when you're a kid. But I would encourage parents who are listening to start instilling that now in their kids, whether they're 5 or 15, start instilling that I guess that thought or whatever into them.
Well, and that education, I mean, that is what we've always been big on here. I mean, even from, Buckventures to my Major League Bowhunter days, whatever it was, the education of helping. And it's just like you, Cole, you might have been young, but your dad, he was, he's done a lot. He knew, and he got you into hunting. And I think that is, and one thing I want to ask you as a young man, going to the Nashville, and seeing Barry up there and they're raising all this money. And if you haven't been to Nashville, if you ever want to go to a show, this is the show. It's the best show. I'm telling you, from ATA to SHOT Show, the NWTF in Nashville in February, it's usually around Valentine's Day, it'll blow your socks off. It's unbelievable. You talk about a fun 3 days, 4 days, whatever you want to spend down there, whether it's the show, the banquets, the whole deal. I mean, Cole, just from a young man, you getting to go for the first time.
Yeah, the first time I went, I think was 3 years ago. I think we just went to walk the floor and see some of our partners. And I'd never been, didn't know what to expect. When we got there, I was like, what in the, this is crazy. Jam-packed people everywhere, and they're all there to, number one, they love to hunt, but they donate money, they buy stuff. The banquet, last year was actually the first banquet I got to go to when we donated the hunt. It's crazy. I mean, people walking around with lightsabers, throwing up numbers, and it was really, really cool. And yeah, I just encourage you to go. You get to go to Nashville. It's at the Gaylord Opryland Resort, right?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Really cool
How
place.
much did y'all raise last year, Barry? I know it's records, right?
I actually haven't heard the overall revenue numbers, but we had 72,000 people, and that's by far the largest attended convention we've ever had. And I'll be honest, we're already at capacity right now through booth spaces and stuff. So, and room blocks. If you are going or planning to go and you want to stay at the Gaylord, you need to get your rooms now, because I believe one night's already sold out, and they're getting lower on the other nights. So we have plenty of overflow hotels, but it's always good to be right there in that Gaylord Opryland.
Well, the guy that won Hunt, David, he is pumped, and he did get drawn. So,
good.
We got all that on schedule, and we can start sending him pictures. But yeah, he's a good guy, and that's the other thing. Just being around that, man, I meet so many good people up there every year. So
I think one thing I just remember at the banquet, Waddell auctioned off a turkey hunt, and I think somebody paid like $42,000 for it.
Yep.
And it's cool because they want to go on the hunt, but it's people. I mean, they care about. I mean, that's money to help support NWTF, and it's cool to see people who care that much and have the capability to pay that much, and they will. It's just really cool to see. Plus, it was like sitting in the room as it was happening. I was like, there was two people going back and forth. It was like 38, 39, 40. It was really cool.
Hey, not only in the room, but at the table.
At our table.
At
yeah.
the table,
Yeah.
right? That was,
you
that was
got
funny.
to watch it firsthand.
Well,
Yeah, they won
We
it,
got to
didn't
watch
they?
it right there.
No, we let it go at the
I
last
think they
second.
let it go at the last second, but it was back and forth. It was pretty intense for a little
It
bit.
was funny because the dad and the kid were next to us, and the dad's like, we're not going above 35. We're not going above 35. And it got to 35, and the other guy bid, and the son looked at his dad, or the dad looked at his son and goes, do you want it? He goes, yeah. He goes, all right, 36. But that's it. And then he got to 37. He's like, do you want it that bad? All right, 38. It was real funny.
My dad would have said, sure, $36. That would have
Yeah. But
I actually know that family, and I won't mention their name, but they are a great family.
Yeah.
I mean, I've hunted with them before, and great kids, great family. So I can only imagine the kids were egging him on to buy that thing.
It was,
What did ours go for? It wasn't nothing like that, but it was, what, 17, 18? I can't remember.
I think it was like 15,000,
Yeah,
something in there for a whitetail hunt, and all going to NWTF.
Yeah.
Well, you got to throw that one out. That was an exception.
Yeah.
You guys did really well.
Yeah.
Yours, trust me.
Yeah. But it is really, really cool. So, yeah, if you haven't gone to the convention, go to it. It's usually around Valentine's Day, middle of February.
And you can just get there, guys. You walk in on the floor and you can get in the show. Now, the banquet, Barry, you probably got to get before, don't you, to get those tickets?
You have to have tickets to get into the
Yeah,
events
yeah.
at night. But
So-
in the show floors, $35 membership gets you in. So.
Yeah, right. Yep.
So, yeah, be sure to check that out. It's pretty cool. I guess with that, is there any new initiatives that NWTF has going on now people may not know about or just got started that you want to talk about?
Well, that Habitat for the Hatch is our current biggest initiative that we have going right now, just due to the turkey declines in some of those states. We're about to launch one similar in the Northeast, and I haven't even heard the name myself yet, but it's going to be coming out here shortly. Another initiative based around turkey research and habitat. We did just release a brand new vision statement, which is kind of cool. It's a nation united under the life-changing power of the outdoors. And I thought that was pretty cool because, most people go, well, I didn't hear turkey in there or anything, but our mission statement has the turkey in there, but we just wanted to embrace the power of the outdoors in this organization, what it does to bring people together and gets families out there doing things. Social media is eating up a lot of our kids' time right now. And so there's a lot of kids missing out on that life-changing power of the outdoors that we got to experience as kids, and probably why we're sitting here today, because we got out there and we had grandparents and parents that taught us the respect of conservation and being in the outdoors, I like hanging deer heads on the wall as much as y'all do, especially when you walk in here and you look around and you go, good grief, I just want one like this one.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's okay if you just want to go out there and harvest that deer because you want good, clean venison on your table.
Sure.
Right? You don't have to put the head on the wall. But, during COVID, I think we all learned meat's not a given on the shelf.
No.
Not at an affordable price anyway.
Exactly. But you can actually go out and harvest your own animal and enjoy the outdoors, bring the family together and do it all as a family,
Well, know what you're eating.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a
we
big
got
one.
to the deal.
That's a big one.
Yeah, you just don't even know. I mean, they can advertise. I mean, it's just like I hate to get on this rant, but I mean, you go in and it's organic. Oh, really? I mean, I have a hard time. I mean, maybe it is, maybe it ain't, but I just know that I've seen people, they advertise however they want. I mean, in a lot of this. Anyway, we won't go down there.
I know, right? That's a whole nother podcast.
Growing all this meat in a lab, it's not even meat. Anyway.
Yeah.
One question that I had, Barry, at least heading into this was, one thing that I think a lot of people wonder is, okay, there's all these great initiatives that we talk about, right? And, my $35 membership is going to go a long way. If I go to my local banquet, all of this helps the NWTF. But I guess my question is, where are these funds actually going? Because I know that there's a lot of organizations out there that, they ask people for money, they give them their money, and then they're like, well, where's that money money actually going, right? Can you speak to any of that, of like where's these funds that, like the membership funds, right? All these like where are these funds actually going?
So I don't know if we have enough time to break it all down, but I'll just give you the simple side of things right now. So we do have what's called a state super fund, which is revenue that is set aside for the state where it's raised at. And that's 20% of the net revenue that comes from an event in that state. And then that state works with their agency partners to spend it back on the state. So like in Oklahoma, there's a state super fund. They typically match that with some sort of PR funds or other grant funds to turn it into a match rate of, like I said, around 10 to 12 to 1, which is good. And that money then goes back on the ground for research and conservation in the state. Then we also have national projects like Habitat for the Hatch, where some of the funds go to that. But the best way to explain it is 88 cents of every dollar that the NWTF raises goes back to mission.
That's
88
incredible.
cents. That's pretty good, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, 88%. That's pretty good. Well, so Barry, right now you're in northwest Oklahoma, getting a lot of rain. We got to talk a little bit about, and I think it's on people's minds. I think it's on people's minds that I think it brought up a worry and an anxiety to people when all of a sudden we didn't have turkeys a couple years ago. There was things happening where we don't get as many turkeys, I know, here in Oklahoma. But, the one thing, knowing that they're working on it, and you mentioned some things earlier. You obviously, y'all, you might speak of, Oklahoma took initiative and took out one of the turkeys, but then you just mentioned rain and this and that. And can you give us any assurance, just from your opinion, kind of where we're headed with the turkey?
I think we're actually headed back up from what we were seeing the last few years. Some of the reports that I'm seeing from those that were in the field just this spring was that they were seeing large jakes numbers, especially in Oklahoma and Kansas. And that's encouraging. So that tells me 2 years ago there was a reasonably good hatch. And then I'm also getting a lot of reports of poults. And of course, that poult's got a 30% survival rate. So out of that clutch. So we're not through the woods yet, but from what I'm seeing is that there was a lot of successful nesting, and that's always a good sign too.
Yeah.
And then, like you and I talked, Jeff, I just want to touch on this real quick. There's a lot of people that get frustrated when they don't get to kill, say, 3 turkeys in a state or 2 turkeys in a state. We understand as an organization, the agencies, the answer to the problem is not curtail hunting, right? But that's an immediate response that you can do to curtail mortality while you do the research that's needed to see if you can figure out what exactly is going on. So it's just an immediate impact thing. It's not the answer. We know that. The agencies know that. But we're putting a lot of money into research right now. If you know Dr. Mike Chamberlain, he's one of the leading turkey biologists in the country. I listen to a lot of his podcasts just so I can stay informed of what they're finding out. So I encourage you, if you get a chance, go listen to one of his. But they're looking at it from all aspects. I mean, they're wanting to find that dart, whatever it is. And the thing with research is that I've learned is that it doesn't come with the purchase of a hunting license.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think we all think we're certified wildlife biologists when we get that hunting license, but we just got to trust that the guys that are actually gone to school and got the master's degrees in those fields are doing everything they can to make sure that turkeys are here.
Well, and there's a way to weigh in, right? I mean, again, don't sit on your couch over there and you're not participating in nothing and then be mad. There's ways for us to be involved and to put in our 2 cents. There's that. So you can have your word heard, but just do it the right way. And again, I'll give you my opinion, even just from a old hunter, is I believe that we have to be educated. We have to be intentional to listen to people that know. And again, not that you just take what they say, but you start gathering that information. Don't just be sitting there and thinking you're some hunter, like you said, because you got a license. And again, gather that information. And for me, gathering, I grew up coon hunting. So, there was a lot of coon hunters. Well, there's no coon hunters anymore. And if you know a coon, what does he do? He destroys about everything that he sees. And I know the education I've learned is that they wreak havoc on nesting. And so go down that and look at the predators. So I would say as hunters, coon in Oklahoma, there's no season on it. So look into that. I mean, and that's just things that I'm doing, trying to get us to do as hunters here, doing some of our part that I believe helps. And I believe Mike and those all say. Now, they ain't saying that's the problem.
No.
They're saying it's a overall deal, and they're looking into it, but I do, that is a problem.
Matter of fact, what he says when it comes to predation with coons and possums and some of those other things is that that's only a component. So let's just say you own your own 10,000 acres, right? And you don't do anything but just predator control. You're not going to do anything really to increase your turkey population. You've got to do the wildlife management aspect of it along with the predator control. Those go all hand in hand. And like Dr. Chamberlain says, you can't just do it periodically. It's got to be extensive and it's got to be continuous, right? You can't just go out there and go, okay, we got rid of 13 coons and 2 coyotes. So that means next year we should have 15 more turkeys, right? It just doesn't work that
Dang
way.
it. Yeah, that is, again, I just go back to exactly what you're talking about. It's the education. I mean, I've learned so much just sitting here with Barry, and every time I get to talk to him and others in the NWTF, we learn. And again, not just about turkey, about all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess, again, it takes work to make a difference, but it's important work. It's going to last way beyond, after we're gone. So, again, I just encourage you to try to get involved. And I guess with that, we've kind of touched on how can people get involved with the NWTF memberships and all that kind of stuff.
Well, the first thing is, get that NWTF membership. Again, it's $35 cheaper than a Supreme Pizza nowadays. But, NWTF.org is where they can go and get that membership. And then I know several of your pro staff right now have a link where somebody can go get a membership and get a $25 Bass Pro gift card to go along with it. So for your first year, you're only going to pay $10 for that membership. So, opportunity there to get some return. And the other component to this is creating hunters. We do a lot with R3, retention, recruitment, and reactivation, because again, like we talked about earlier, hunters are the true pioneers of conservation. We're not just out there harvesting an animal, but we're also contributing to the opportunity to the bird watcher to go out and watch that bird that they want to watch, right? Through that Pittman Robertson funds and then the license sales funds. So we're huge right now into creating hunters, because hunter numbers have in some cases leveled off, and in some cases have actually declined in some states. So our goal is to keep that going up.
Let me ask you, let's just say there's somebody out there who has been a member, this or that, but they want to start a chapter. Mm-hmm. What is that process? Is that going on NWTF.org and getting with the regional director, or how does that work exactly?
Yep, that is one way. You can go to NWTF.org, and then you can go to your state and find a chapter in your area. And if there isn't one, then the field staff members for that state will be listed, and they can reach out to the regional director. But if you want to email me at bwoods@nwtf.net, I would gladly take an email and get you in touch with the right person.
Mm-hmm. What else? Do you have a question? Sorry, I think I kind of cut you off.
No, that's all right. I was going to say, on that link that you were saying about signing up for a membership and getting a gift card, we can link that link.
We'll put it in the description.
In the description. So if any of you guys out there are not a member and want to, this is a really great opportunity to go ahead and jump on it. Like I said, it's only $35 up front, and then you'll get a $25 gift card shipped to your door. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or it's
yep.
Is it electronic? Okay.
It's an e-card.
Electronic. Yep. So yeah, a really great chance to go ahead and do that.
It's kind of like,
and that's new or renewal. So yeah.
Oh, really? Well, it's kind of like that. We was talking about yesterday. How your wife, I think Chancey, you were talking about it. How she's like, oh, I got that free.
Oh, girl math. Yeah,
well, this is like guy math.
Yeah.
Like, I got a $25 deal free. I mean, heck.
Yeah.
So we can go right down that road, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hunter math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let's just go ahead and coin that right now. Hashtag hunter math.
Hunter math.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. We just coined it.
Boom. Well, so, man, Big Buck Works going on is what we have. Hashtag Big Buck Work. Hashtag just being out there. I mean, it's that we always talk about Barry. July is a it's almost like
flip switches.
It's a light switch. It's just fixing to happen. I think people start hunting back on the brain right now. They come out of turkey season, they got into lake season, and all of a sudden we're fixing to get into the velvet. I mean, we've actually run a few cameras, so the velvet deer they're taking a good shape right now. We're actually fixing to go out and do some filming, sweat and get mosquitoes and ticks.
And we will film some podcast. Hopefully.
If he ever shows up, guys, I'm just telling you, just so you know, he ain't here much, and then he tries to take all the credit.
Well, it's summer, so golf has really been on the mind lately.
Yeah.
So we're we're gonna go golf tomorrow.
Probably.
Okay. Okay.
But we got Barry. He's got. Yeah.
Let's just go today. Yeah.
I got some extra shorts. We'll just go today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of, taken back there for a minute. I didn't think I'd ever see you in a pair of shorts, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
I know. Not very many people do. We do golf quite a bit. So
Good for you. I just can't believe it's already July 1st. My goodness. Seemed like I was just killing turkeys here not long ago.
it goes by faster and faster the older we get. Golly, just the blink of an eye, for sure. Well, I encourage you guys. Make a difference. I mean, make a difference. It's and this is a way to do it. Get involved, hunting wise. Think of the future. And again, when you get involved in NWTF, you get involved with whatever. There's so much reward in meeting people. And the older I've gotten, Barry, is kind of going back to what Cole was talking about earlier. You get thinking all about hunting and about killing and I think most of us, as we get older, it gets better. But it isn't about just killing anymore. And I mean, almost with me, again, I love to kill big deer. I love to kill turkeys. I love to kill, whatever. But
Skunks.
Yeah. Well, armadillos for this guy.
Armadillo skunks, yeah.
Well, that's a necessity.
Only guy I know that would go on a turkey hunt and waste his 2 shells.
I know, I'm skunk. Hey, it's my own farm. I could not let a skunk go. But yeah, it's. I think it just gets sweeter as we make things better. As we get older, and to put that effort into, being a manager, however that might fit. So,
Actually, one thing we've not talked about, and Barry, I think we can talk about this, is one thing that we're going to be doing, we're going to be collaborating on, is Buckventures NWTF raffle calendar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is going to be a 2025 calendar. We're still getting all the pieces together. Can you explain a little bit how that calendar is going to work? Because this is going to be for sale for the public, a lot of really great opportunity to win a lot of great prizes, and then obviously all the proceeds will go directly to NWTF initiatives we've been talking about. Can you go with that?
Yeah, I'm glad you actually brought that up because another way to get a membership, right? The calendar is $50 for the calendar. It's a chance to win a gun or some of your partner's product throughout an entire year, every Wednesday, for $50. I mean, $50 to every Wednesday have a chance to win a firearm.
not
or
paying
product.
$50 every Wednesday.
Yeah, it's 50 one-time payment of $50. You get a year's worth of chances to win firearms and products, and you get a $35 NWTF membership. So
for $50, you get a NWTF membership. You get an actual calendar, which is going to have our faces on it. So I mean, that's worth something, right?
He wants 2 of them.
we just sold 2 of them right there. There you go. That was easy.
Yeah. No, that's
We
funny.
keep that pace. That'll be out of calendar.
Yeah, and then 52 chances to win a high ticket item. That's unbelievable. All for $50. And all the proceeds.
Is there a certain number of calendars to sell, or just as many?
I think that we're going to start out with 2 sets of 1,000. Is that right?
That's correct.
So there's going to be 2,000 calendars out there. You can buy as many calendars as you want because, I mean, as the more calendars you buy, the more chances you get to win all these prizes, right?
And most people buy multiple calendars, so they're going to sell out
Right.
pretty quick. So if you're interested, I would get a hold of you, Chancey, probably to get one of those.
We're still trying to
When
figure
does
out
it
all
start?
the logisticals.
January 1.
Yep. Which we'll start selling them a little bit before that. Is that right? Will they actually be available? Which
Oh yeah,
I know
we're
that's-
hoping to have them in your hands probably by mid-August.
Okay.
As soon as we get all
Which
the details.
That's in our court because we still have to firm up some details. But yeah, the details on our end should be done by the end of this week, and then hopefully
It's almost
mid-August.
unheard of. So say that again because it's hard to sink in how
Yeah,
many
I
how
know,
many
right?
that is.
$50. All 52 weeks, there is a chance you like the number of your calendar, right?
Yep.
So you might have number 352, right? So the number 3, so your number is 352, and every single Wednesday, is that right?
Yep.
Then it goes off of like a lottery system deal, and then whatever number that is, so if
You
if
can
you're
win multiple
So
times.
52
Oh,
prizes.
So you can win multiple
Yeah,
times
so
too.
if
I didn't
352
know
is
that.
drawn twice in a year, you win twice.
Yeah, so you
you're-
get
you're
52
in every
chances for
literally.
your number to be drawn, and then you just get whether it's a gun or whatever it is. It's a significant.
They're all good prizes.
They're all great prizes. I'd say, is it safe to say $400 and above?
Yeah, well, we're putting a gun on every Wednesday, and I think you guys are just going to add some stuff
Add some
to
partner
those
stuff,
Wednesdays
yeah.
with partner
That's
stuff.
right.
So your calendar is actually even a little better than our own NWTF
Yeah.
calendar because of that. So
Right. Yeah. So I've
You
got a
need to buy
feeling.
the office like 25 calendars.
I know. Well, that's the thing. We're starting off conservative 2,000 this first year, but those may go pretty quick. We may end
You
up
could
going
actually
4,000 or 5,000
almost
down
make
the
money.
road. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could win a prize and you just made money
oh, absolutely.
because you could sell the gun. I mean, if you didn't want the gun, you could sell it and you just made you $500 or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't believe it when he came to this idea. I'm like,
Yeah,
we
I'm
got to
like-
do that.
Yeah. Well, that was one of those ideas that come up when you're driving and you're looking at the
Yeah.
windshield. You're like, hey, I think I have an idea here.
Light
that
bulb. Yeah.
might work.
That's right.
Yeah, it's pretty significant.
Yeah.
So we'll have all that information somewhere on a computer at some point. I mean, information for them to actually
Yeah.
read
Well,
it, see it.
We'll actually come up with a system. Like I said, all the specific logisticals we'll still have to work out, but we'll come up with a system. If you want to buy, it'll either be a link or something like that. We'll get it all taken care of. Yep. And then we'll obviously post it on our social medias and all that. That way,
Collaborate with NWTF.
yep.
and
Collaborate
stuff on it, so.
NWTF and all
Yep.
that. Yep.
Well-
and our pro staff is going to be involved too. And I
Yeah.
think there's going to be some prizes for the ones who sell the most calendars. So I could see this being a little dogfight.
May not last long.
After what I witnessed at your pro staff meeting, they're competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Well, the other guys, just remember to go check out our YouTube. The Just Shot, the guys, they had a pretty good little run on the turkey stuff. And so Just Shot, I think, is on my outdoor TV. Make sure and go see that. And then, like I said, our YouTube, we are actually going to try to stay up to snuff live as we go through. We're actually putting some together right now, I believe.
Yeah, we're going to go. Yeah, we'll start. It'll probably start posted next week. YouTube and then our stuff on MOTV. We'll keep up to date. So and that'll go all the way through the end of the year, into deer season. So yeah,
It's here.
it's here.
You got a
pretty much here.
new season launching too here this
We
month.
do have a new
that's
season.
a good
Yeah,
point.
we
I forgot about that.
season premiere of.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, we didn't even think about it. Yeah, season 21 premieres this week.
We do
Season
still have a show,
21.
yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
There's several times. Our main time is Thursday at 7:30 Eastern on Outdoor Channel, and then the Woodsman show, which is our pro staff, is Wednesday at I believe 8 p.m. or 9 Eastern, 8 Central,
Yep. And
on Sportsman Channel.
I'll just tell you, so Buckventures, we've kind of talked a little bit about how it's a little bit of a new format. It's probably one of my favorite formats that I've seen for Buckventures personally. It's going to be like I said, brand new format. And then also just watch the first Woodsman show, and I was literally crying just about. So I'm really excited about what this season's going to bring, both Buckventures
Yeah.
and the Woodsman.
So
It's-
yeah, Wednesday nights
pretty
on the
cool.
Woodsman, 8:30 or something, I think, and then Thursday nights,
7:30 Eastern,
yeah,
and then 11:30 Eastern as well.
Yeah.
So 6:30 and 10:30 Central times. So
yeah. Make sure and go in there and give some feedback, whatever it might be. If it's bad, just name Cole. If it's good, say my name. Be great.
I don't care. Send it to me.
Thick
So,
skin now, aren't you?
it don't matter. So, all right, y'all got anything else? Any final words?
I just want to say thank you again to y'all on this partnership and look forward to great things. I mean, we're still in its infancy, so we still got a lot of work to do as a team here, and so I look forward to it.
Well, that's just it, guys. Get involved. Help us. If you think of something that could help the NWTF, help our partnership, help hunters, help turkeys, help deer, whatever it is, we're here to listen. We want to be that. I mean, you may have an idea that would help going forward. So let us know that. We read them all, listen to all of them. And then I would just encourage you guys. I am in a time of my life where I have counseled a lot of people this last year, and I've got my own problems for sure, but I've just seen a lot of heaviness obviously we know the world it's just coming at us, right? So I would just encourage you, wherever you're walking today, make sure you're starting it off, turning to the Lord, looking to Him. I mean, that's all we got, really. I mean, we have people that God's put in our life to lean on, but lean into the Word of God and follow that. That's my encouragement, because I know if you're just come out of a trial, you're probably fixing to go into another one. That's just the way it works, right? So if we live very long, we know that. So, and not only encourage you, you encourage the next person. That's how we make a difference in this lifetime.
Yep.
Agree.
And go Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, go Caitlin Clark. Golly. That's my new favorite deal.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, listening, whatever you're doing. Be sure to subscribe. Watch our show starting this week on Outdoor Channel, Sportsman Channel. Get involved with NWTF. Buy your membership. Start a chapter. Whatever. Donate $100,000. Whatever you want to do.
Right.
Barry will accept it all.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. And remember, as we always say, shoot by sight and walk by faith.